recycling facility code of practice. Joseph.
Just John, thanks for the introduction. Joseph Doherty, Regen Waste. Just wanted to first of all set out who is Regen Waste. We specialise in household waste. We focused on mixed recyclables for the first 12 years of in operation. We now work on mixed household waste and ship RDF to Sweden, big part of our business. We're the largest sorting plant of mixed recyclables on the island of Ireland. We're on a par and size-wise of anybody in the UK or Europe, twice the size of anybody in Ireland, and 4 times the size of any of our competitors in NI. We sort more MDR than NI produces, and we specialise in MDR at a time when other companies would have been only a piece of their business. This was our focus. And probably one of the last ones there, we pioneered glass in the blue bin in Northern Ireland. So there's just different things that show our innovation. Where we come from, we're a family business. Myself and 2 brothers set it up. 1994, it was a kitchen table idea. It grew from a kitchen table idea to buying a site. We got planning permission. We come from a construction background, so we built the building ourselves. We went and bought machinery in San Diego. We got the plant operational, and we went from a merchant facility with no tons up to 120,000 tons a year just of dry recyclables. On top of that now, we're doing 70,000 tonne a year of RDF exported to Sweden. So that maybe fills the gap with Jackie on her 170,000 tonne that's going to export out of Northern Ireland. We're a piece of that. I think Brett's maybe a large piece of the other part of it. So we built the Doherty Mar in 2014, and that's been building all through time. Just to give you a bit of a plan for the next 10 years, I can't really share with you, but we have a plan over the next 2 years where we think the industry is going. So just a few wee things. This is the first load of rubbish come to the plant. As I said, Jeff Bezos of Amazon was like the first ping of his business for us. That was the first load of waste delivered from Newry, bit of down memory lane for me. What I want to talk about today is driving quality. I want to talk about best practice and worse generally, not just on quality but on the risk sides as well. So we'll talk about the code of practice. I want to talk about what is quality. I want to talk about the engineering design we do internally in our business to always be on the cutting edge. I want to look at managing risks from a global perspective, managing fires and issues with fires, issues with odour, pest, and to conclude with how we deal with all them things. Starting here with the code of practice, you can see mixed paper, cardboard, plastic, aluminium. Any tonnes that we send out of the plant, the MRF code of practice requires that we take samples of each of the tonnages. So we have 60 tonne of mixed paper leaves the plant. That has to be 50 to 70 kg sample taken, broken down, and that has to be fed back to councils. Now, the code of practice isn't in law in Northern Ireland, but it is in England and Scotland and Wales. It may come in the future in Northern Ireland, but a number of contracts that we deal with in ARC21, we're required to follow the code of practice. So we set up to be able to take them samples and prove the qualities, and also it has to be done for the input waste as well. Just this is a diagram. Every 125 tonne that comes into the plant must be sampled, and that input tells the councils this is the quality. And if the councils get that feedback, they can then maybe start dealing with householders and dealing with other issues. The code of practice brings everybody in on the chain. So it starts with the householder, starts with the council, works to the MRF operator, and that means then that if we can get good quality product in, we can produce good quality product out. I think that's the main crux of the. Now I want to talk about what is quality. Well, to talk about prohibitives. A prohibitive is something like a bottle or can in a newspaper bale. An objectional would be a piece of cardboard in a newspaper bale. So the mill that's taking that cardboard with a bit of extra treatment can remove it. It doesn't cause a big issue, but it's uneconomical. And moisture, a big issue. We have heavy rain here. You have issues with moisture on your export out. You talk about 11% acceptable, 16% is pushing it. Once you go above that, you get issues. So these are the things that we have to deal with every day in the whole business. 5 fibre, people talk about quality. They talk about the quality of fibre. It isn't necessarily in the regulations, the quality of fibre, but in Europe, paper goes back to paper mills a number of times. Every time you take paper back to a paper mill, that shortens the strands, and that fibre keeps getting shorter, and that means it's harder to recycle. American paper seems to be a lot better paper because it comes from a virgin pulp. That virgin pulp, everybody wants it and will pay more for it, and it gets a premium. So there's just a bit of a difference of, well, what is quality with fibre? And then plastic types. There's so many different types of plastic. What's economical to recycle and what's not? There's a low value plastic which in a lot of cases could end up being put into waste energy. So there's different things that happen. So I wanted to give an understanding of the quality itself. Now, this is just some designs of our own plant. Changes, we've our own in-house engineers, and they're working full time, coming up with new ideas to change the plant and try and be more economical and get more recyclables out of the material. So that's just part of what we have to be working on to try and get the quality. This is just another photograph of our RDF plant, which would be producing the RDFs, being shipped out of Warm Point to go to export to Sweden. I want to start now with the risks. The risks in our business, and the number one that we have to have is health and safety. And we've had accidents in the past, and we've had to work hard to change the culture in our business to prevent accidents happening. And with them changes, we raised the standard, and with raising that standard, we got awarded the Wish NI Ambassador Award, and that's a big achievement for us. And hopefully we can shout the value and the benefits that Wish NI gives the business, and by sharing and talking with maybe some of our competitors. And the key thing I want to highlight, I want to see my competitors talking to me about safety, because if I can raise the bar for them and hopefully prevent them from having an accident from what I've learned, hopefully we've won, and hopefully vice versa, they'll help me. So that's something in the future, and Wish NI is a forum. We support it to come to our facility regular. So we want to see that making changes in the industry, and that's the industry getting mature and growing up more. All the materials that we sell global. We go as far as China. We do a lot in Europe, and I think Jackie mentioned earlier the whole Brexit. I've done a bit of work around Brexit, and what I see happening is our business will have about 500,000 extra tariffs if we work with World Trade Organization rules, because our business works in both the Republic of Ireland, North of Ireland, and Scotland and England as well. But we also sell a lot of material to Europe and some to China. And there is tariff effects, and no matter what way you look at it, I think if World Trade Organization rules comes in, we'll be paying about 500,000 a year extra. Now, our competitors will be in the same boat, but it's just to get a figure on it. Now, we already ship about 40,000 tonne a year of commingled recyclables from the Republic of Ireland. Now, that's costing us 200,000 in fees alone for that privilege. So you add another 500,000 onto that, it starts to become very costly to deal in an international market. So it's something to watch this space to what happens. This is an example of we done some deals in Turkey, and we are out all the time. And the business ethos for us is we need to spread our eggs as much as possible, because if we can protect the number of end markets we have, it protects the risk of one end market causing a problem, because we spread our eggs across a number of countries. So that's just one of the examples. Again, just glass. Glass is a thing we've worked on a lot. We pioneered glass in the commingled bin in Northern Ireland, and we think it's a viable option. We've done a lot of investment on our plant in Newry, and hopefully that you see the benefits of that if you ever come to see the plant. I want to talk a bit about fire. Fire is a big thing. There's a big risk in all plants. And there's already been 2 fires in Northern Ireland, and there's big losses with them. And at the moment, we're paying 350,000 a year in insurance. Now, that's a big cost to our business. And I'm worried at a point we're coming to, you won't be able to get insured. It's coming that close that insurance companies will walk away. It's not worth working with the waste industry. It's might as well go for a lot lower risk in another industry. So we as an industry need to come together and be more proactive in how we deal with it. And I want to share some of the things here and what we're doing. This is just we have a RDF pile in Warm Point. It went on fire on Halloween, so it was a bit of a funny time for it to happen. But it shows how we had to get in on the fire, split the pile down. And a lot of it, not that much burned, but we had to be the resources there to get at it and split it. get it out and work with the fire brigade. And I think that that's every waste operator needs to be ready. And what we've taken from we've learned, we've now set up a plan for both the pile and warm point and our recycling plant as well, because this is our bread and butter. We need to make sure it keeps going, and it's important for the councils to see that you can handle a situation. So this is just some of the things. We have our own sprinkler system. I'm not sure who else has sprinkler systems in Northern Ireland, but this should hopefully, by having our sprinkler system, that there's a tank of water that's the size of a 25-metre pool, so we have direct water to the facility straight out. These are start-up pumps, go straight away if there's anything happens, and that's just a sprinkler head on the end. Just simply a sprinkler head is an iodine bulb. That iodine bulb will bust at 64 degrees, so when the heat temperature rises and hits the roof, it'll bust that bulb. The pressure will drop on the line, and then the pump starts up. And we've hit them a few times in the plant, and it really drowned the place. Now, it does take a while. A fire starts, and does take a while for them to break. But the key thing is you don't end up with a total loss. You end up with saving 90% of your facility. So it makes a fire. They talk about flashover in a fire. So the likes of a sprinkler system like this stops a flashover. Flashover is where the gas is built up and heat builds up on the roof, and at a certain point the temperature gets so high and the gas explodes and just burns the whole facility. Even if there's no waste in the part of it, it'll just take the lot. So it's just the work we've done to try and reduce the risk in our facility. We also put in a smoke detection system, which is earlier. It takes samples of the air and removes the samples and tests if there's smoke. And if there's smoke, that sets off the fire alarm as well. So we're always trying to come up with new ideas. I talked earlier about getting resources back to the facility. The key thing for us is this is a plan set out. Immediate reaction to what happens is the first step. The site evacuation is the second. The third one then is we need to isolate the material that's causing the problem, and then the bottom one there is to engage with the fire brigade. The key thing is being planned, being proactive, having the resources organised, and having things like telephone numbers there, the right people you want, having them in place for it happening. Because if you can save your business, that's the key thing. Because as it comes, if fires keep happening the way they are, insurance won't be there to save you. Sorry, that was just a dust filter. We talk about odour. One of the things we have to manage, we're very close to households, so we have to manage odour coming out of the facility for any deliveries of mixed waste. So we had to seal the building, make sure no air could get into the building first. So that created, once you created a suction, that you're not sucking in unnecessary air. We then suck the air through a dust filter so that whenever it gets to the carbon doesn't get blinded. That carbon, if you can keep the life of it, the longer it is, it's quite expensive to buy. And then we put it up through a chimney after it's been cleaned. So this is just a photograph here of the pipe leaving the building, sucking the air out into the dust filter, and you can see the exhaust behind, just to give a bit of reality to the situation. Again, we're quite close to household or to factories where we store our RDF, and there's a certain amount of pest control we need to deal with on flies, and we've had to set up quite a rigorous system to make sure that we're able to not have issues with neighbours, and we've been successful in it because we've worked at it. So where we store the bales, we have a high risk of insect infestation. We analyse the process from start to finish, found where the issues are, and we worked with them. We developed a robust system, and the key thing is, with close neighbours and close proximity to where we work, we had to find a solution. And through working through making sure the material was treated right at the facility, looking at the chain right along, we could make sure that and make that work. If anybody wants to talk to me about it after, I can't get into the detail now. But just things like netting the pile, making sure there's no escape, it prevents any issues from arising. There's our facility in Newry. Again, you can see the neighbours. We have neighbours' households to the right-hand side and factories right around. So we have to be vigilant in that case as well. Just to give you an idea, again, we monitor within the building to make sure if there was any insect potential, we deal with it in each area, and we have monitors so that we can catch it. So look, I'd like to conclude. I've gone through the code of practice. the quality definition and the engineering design and the key management of risks we need to look after to keep our business operating every day, and hopefully through sharing some of these things, maybe some of the guys we work and compete against will do the same to raise the standard. So thank you very much everybody for